What's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of Full Circle. I'm your host, as always, Harmon Jr. Please feel free to find me at Harmon Jr. And real quick, people, you know what? I forgot to shout the Patreons last week. I didn't forget about y'all. So, what's up, Ryan Fager, Gabriel Garcia, Baked Rice? And we have a new Patreon follower, which I don't know who it is yet because I locked myself out of my account. So the second I figure to get that done, because there's a process since there's money involved, I got to wait a couple of days. I'm going to shout you out too, but we do have a new Patreon. So yay, thank you for that. But big news, Pokemon month is over. Yes, people, I know, sad day. No more Pokemon news. We're going to get a little bit today. Just a little bit, I promise. But Pokemon month is over. Thank you to all the great Pokemon guests we had all month. We missed out on one because of the winter freeze we had in Texas. But I promise he will be on a later episode. And that's a surprise guest. So I'm not going to spoil that for y'all. But all new week, all new show. And I got my buddy Julian Harris with me today. What's up, sir? How are you doing today?
What's going on? Not too bad at all. Glad you all are thawed out down there in Texas. Glad you have water and power now. So
yes. So, Julian, for those who don't know you, which if they're a good listener to the show, they should because you've been on before. But just in case they're new to the fam, who are you and what do you do?
What's going on? So, Julian, aka King Julian, aka some variant of that across all social media. I am the resident Xbox guy when it comes to the game Fanatics. I am also, I think that's the main thing, but I'm the head of collaboration. So I basically work with different companies trying to get different partnerships or different games to either review, stream, all that jazz. So that's the short of it.
Good stuff. And as our resident Xbox expert, we're going to be talking about that later in the show. We're going to be talking about some Xbox rumors, especially with Bethesda. That's supposed to happen this month, so we'll have that official news, wherever it is. Probably talk about that on a upcoming show, but right now we just got some rumors. Before that, we're going to talk about Sony State of Play. They gave us the roadmap for pretty much 2021. I'm sure they still have some surprises, some things left to dazzle with us. Maybe. Who knows at this point, but we'll see. But before all that, we're going to start with some Nintendo news. Yes, we're hitting the big three this week. Spreading the love. We're going to start with some Nintendo news. And yes, that involves some Pokemon, like I said, but don't worry, just a little bit.
Of course.
So, we had a direct last week on February the 17th. And a week and a half ago. At time of listening, this is probably like a week and a half ago. But why is that significant? Because the last time Nintendo had an official direct was September 4th, 2019. Yes, we went all of 2020 without a formal Nintendo Direct. A whole year of basically a void of Nintendo news outside of Animal Crossing and the 35th anniversary of Mario. Yeah, everything else was pretty much like indie games are coming to the Switch like they always do at their regular clip. So we got a whole bunch of news, and I must admit, Julian, after a full year of no big news, I was kind of disappointed. Not kind of, I was. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it.
Yeah, I've been hearing that from a lot of the big Nintendo fans. I did grow up a lot with Nintendo. I am a Nintendo fan, but I guess as a person that's not playing it as much, I wasn't as disappointed. So
yeah, it's weird because we got the announcement of Skyward Sword remake, remaster. However, sometimes I'm like they're exchangeable, sometimes they're not. Whatever you want to call it, we're getting that to the Switch. People said it would never happen. It's happening. That was kind of exciting, but kind of expected. Like, okay, at some point, all the Mario games, all the Zelda games are going to be on Switch. Ideally, I would want remastered versions of them, like Wind Waker Guide or the Resident Evil game, something of that level or scale. Sadly, we're probably not gonna get that. We're just gonna get ports. So it was cool. I haven't played Skyward Sword since the Wii, so that'll be fun. We got Splatoon 3, which I don't know. I feel like it's too soon. Like, Splatoon 3 should have been like, we're making Switch HD and we're launching Splatoon 3 because it looks kind of garbage graphically. And I'm saying garbage now because I'm not going to excuse the graphical fidelity of the Switch no more. If you're not giving me an
Yeah.
HD version of the Switch, then I will not excuse the no. It somehow looked worse than Splatoon 2 in the trailer. Don't ask me how. It just did. And then we got a whole bunch of stuff we knew what was happening. So
Yeah.
that was the direct.
Yeah, and you know what? I will say, unfortunately, I have not played any Splatoon yet. because and I wanted to, but it's one of those things so I have all the consoles and trying to spread out time between everything, you kind of pick and choose. So of course I've played Zelda, of course I've played Animal Crossing, which was a surprise for me, but I always wanted to play. So I played Animal Crossing, Mario Kart. So my main console, of course, is Xbox. So when I play the different consoles, I have to pick and choose what I have time for. So maybe I will just jump in on. Well, I'll wait for reviews, but maybe I will just jump in on Splatoon 3.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. Splatoon surprised the hell out of me when it first came out on Wii U. And then Splatoon 2 surprised me because it was legit better. It's a great game, great co-op game. And I swear, like, if Nintendo had proper voice chat, if I could just put on my headset, talk to my squad, I get it. We love the kids. Trick love the kids. Sometimes you gotta say F those kids because I don't know, put in the parental controls. Like if you're not above 18, you can't chat. I don't know, something, because it's such a great game to where if I could just talk to my teammates. And I'm sorry, like I know you got the app on your phone, or you can just call them, or that's just too much. I just need to plug in my headset and talk, because it's a really great game, and it seems like a game to where like you can't be really super skillful, but you really can. That's the surprising part. Like there's tactics and stuff, and I'll say it can be like Call of Duty, Apex Legends level of like expertise shooting, since you're not shooting nobody, inking them and all that stuff. So I really hope that like by the time Splatoon 3 comes out, Nintendo figures out their whole online voice chat system. Just rehaul it, because wait, Apex Legends is coming to Switch. That was part of the direct. So
it's on now. I've played with some people from Switch.
Oh, it's already. Oh man, dang! You know what? I'm gonna do that later tonight. How was it?
It's cool. Of course, I mean, I don't talk too much with people I don't know on there, but I don't really know, again, like you said, how the voice chat works for them. But overall, I mean, you could tell that there are a lot of new players and a lot of new kids on there. But I mean, I think it's probably pretty dope to just be able to kind of take it on the go with you. So I'm going to download it and try it out. I think I may have just been removed off my Nintendo family account. So I had the online mode with the online with a group of people. So we'll see. I may have to check it out.
So how bad were the kids? Like, were y'all just breezing through, just getting champion of the arena?
I was actually, I've gotten more wins recently than I have in the past. Like at least, and I mean, it's not going to sound like a lot for someone who plays a lot, but at least 1 or 2 a night, and that's a lot for me. So, and that's with randoms. So, yeah.
Actually, playing with a squad of like your boys would probably be just like wiping the floor with them, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
How's it performance wise?
I think it's fine. Of course, it's going to be lower resolution, but I think with the art style, it gives a little space for just the way it looks, and of course, playing it on the smaller screen. So, like, whenever I play my Switch, I'm mostly playing it in handheld mode. So, so I'm playing some Apex tonight, so maybe I'll play it on the Switch versus Xbox. We'll see how I feel.
We got to hop on some of that crossplay eventually, since you can do that now. No lag problems or any major lag problems.
Not yet. Not that I thought.
Okay. And so outside of the Nintendo Direct, this past Saturday was a Pokemon Day, 25th anniversary of Pokemon. Whoop whoop. We had a Post Malone concert. That was weird. I'm not like, just know it was weird. He had a virtual concert for the 25th anniversary. It was Pokemon themed, and he sung his regular songs that were censored, and so it was just like,
yeah, that's weird.
That's just weird. And if you heard most Post Malone songs, they're not They're very adult themed. And then there's one
Yeah.
about there's a song about him being like the side dude or the chick being the side chick. I don't know, but it's basically talking about how they get it on, but he don't love her. And like so, it censored the cuss words, but like it kept
Yeah.
the word sex in the song. So it was like, I don't know
I mean,
what's going on here.
I may have to go back and watch because I saw the announcement for it, but I didn't go and watch it. So I may need to go back and watch it just
Yeah,
to see
it's
how
14
weird it
minutes.
was.
It's not too much of a time investment, but
Okay.
I don't know. It was weird, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But the big Pokemon announcements were we're finally getting the remake of Diamond and Pearl with Brilliant Diamond and Dazzling Pearl, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then the remake is Chubby style. That's cool and fun. But we're getting a open world Pokemon style game and a Pokemon Legend of Arceus, however you want to say the legendary's name. I'm not here to debate you on your pronunciation. I believe they say Arceus in the trailer, so I'm going with that. And people are calling, Breath of the Wild style Pokemon, Breath of the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely some comparisons you could throw in there. It's in a region, it's in the Hoenn region, the Sinnoh region, but in the past. So it has that abandoned, old timey look, and I'm interested. Again, I really wish there was like a advanced pro switch because I feel like it could look better, but definitely interested.
Yeah. I mean, and I definitely play it. Like, kind of just going through everything you just said. Pearl. Wait, is it Pearl?
Yeah,
Pearl
Pearl.
is where I stopped, I think. There's some. Wait, hold on. What was the legendary in there?
It's Dialga and Palkia. It's a giant dragon steel looking thing. Kind of looks like a horse but with a long head, and the other one's like a giant. They don't look like normal animals.
Okay. I may have stopped a little bit before that, but I tried to hop back into Pokemon on the 3DS, and it just didn't work. Like I had to get used to the new control scheme and all that, but this new one actually looks pretty dope.
Yeah,
And
I really like the
definitely
Chubby art style. I'm a fan of it. One thing
Yeah.
I've always liked is about these remakes of Pokemon is that the art style is different from the original game and every previous Pokemon game before it. So if you look at all the remakes, they each have their own art style that's unique to that remake. So I think that's a cool way of going about things.
Yeah. And I've always been a Pokemon fan. I just haven't. Again, this one of those things is like you have to have time to play all this stuff, and things got so complex between the time where I stopped playing and then I tried to pick it up again. I was like, okay, this is going to take. I need to watch some YouTube videos before I do this. So, but this one I'm definitely open to trying, getting back into.
Yeah, man, that's one of the great things about the remakes. Outside of nostalgia, they actually make it in a way to where if this is your first Pokemon game, you can pick up. It has some of the new, it has new things, but not like all the new things, and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
and it has the familiarity to it. It's like something you've done before.
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, that's it for Nintendo. Like I said, I'm not gonna let this drag on. One, because I've already talked about Pokemon for like 4 or 5 shows straight. So people, PlayStation, yes, because when's the last time we talked about PlayStation on the show? I don't even know. We might not even talked about PlayStation in January.
Yeah, I think I've been saying all Pokemon on the podcast.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we had to do it big. We had to do it big. But PlayStation released their state of play, and I'm digging it. But before that, they announced this before. Man, Julian, what is your thoughts on this new PSVR? You gonna get it? You're gonna finally hop into the world of VR full time?
Maybe. So I've wanted to get into VR, and it seems like even though so at the time when the first kind of set of headsets came out and the original PSVR came out, I wasn't playing my PlayStation that much, and my computer couldn't handle VR. But now, I don't know. I may try it out. It's not coming out this year for sure. I think they stated that. But I'm excited to see what improvements they have, because it's like for most people, it's like the cheapest way to kind of jump into VR. So, I'd like to, because my PC is not mainly for gaming, so I definitely like to try it out and see what the world of VR is like. I mean, of course I've messed around with it, but just kind of like day to day. I want to see what PlayStation does with it.
Yeah, because like you said, it's been usually for people who game in general. It's the cheapest, most accessible VR option on the market. You know, for the HTC View and Oculus, you need a computer that can run all that, and your computer needs
Yeah.
to be pretty beefy for it to work well, and you kind of need the space for it. You know, especially the
Mhm.
View. I think you got like the corner sensors or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I know
think so.
you need some space, but you know, PSVR can mostly be done on the couch. You know, there's things like Beat Saber that require some standing up, but you know, it's simple.
Yeah.
And I skipped out on PSVR because the setup was just too complicated for me. I'm like, yeah, this is a lot. I mean, it's not too much to where I can't do it. But the fact that they're like,
Mhm.
this new one's gonna have one cable plug in, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm already sold.
Yeah.
That was my
Yeah.
main issue. Because another thing is, I felt like it was too late because people were like, oh, there's like these PSVR games you have to play. And I'm like, man, that's like 10 games and I gotta really commit to that. But I'm like, all right, one cable, a better headset, better
Mhm.
controls, and the VR experience is supposed to be better. Like instead of looking like, a 64 game, it doesn't look that bad, but it doesn't look that bad, but it'll look better now and, control
Yeah.
smoother. And I'm just like, all right, cool. Because I'm pretty sure when they come out with it, it'll probably come bundled with like a few
Mhm.
games that I can, knock out. But it
Yeah,
sounds
at
like
least
they're
a
going the
couple
right
of
way. They listen to people and they made it more and more accessible and it's better. So
Mhm.
we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what if they'll go with kind of like the same price or if they'll go with a cheaper price.
What is the price point in PSVR? Was it like 250 or something like that?
Uh, I don't remember. I'll look real quick. I'm
It's
seeing bundles for around like those are bundles. Let's see, PSVR about 400 with a game and all that stuff now. So when it came out, it was probably 400, 399.
oof. That is a price point. I'm hoping it'll be cheaper. Cause I mean, what 400 is basically a disc driveless PS5.
Yeah, I mean, and these come so this comes with the Move controllers. I think it has you need the camera and then like a game. But I'm interested to because I know there's a the PSVR the original works with the PlayStation. I think if you have the adapter, so I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. Interesting that you bring up price because I'm like 400 since that's as much as a PS5. The
Yeah.
cheaper option. I'm just like when the PS5 comes back in stock because obviously you're gonna need
Mhm.
to move PS5s to move the new PSVR. I'm not sure if it's compatible with the PS4 or not. Is it? Do you know
Um, the new one,
the new one?
I'm not sure if it will be.
Yeah,
Uh, they'll
but
probably just have people stick with the old version.
yeah, but let's be real. It's gonna be optimized for PS5 at the very least.
Yeah.
That's where we're gonna intend you to play it. So I wonder if they're gonna have like PS5 bundle, PSVR, PS5 bundles.
Probably, and even like COVID kind of messed things up. Of course, I think once supply is kind of normalized and people aren't reselling them, I think there's a lot of people just sitting on PlayStations right now. But I think once the whole craze kind of settles down a little bit, then yeah, I can definitely see like a four or wait, so the discless PSV or PlayStation is 400. So let's say like depending on how much it costs, about $700-800 bundle to
Yeah, I
come
can
with
see
the
that because I mean they
PSVR
already
2.
have an $800 bundle, the one that comes with
Okay.
like the PlayStation, the extra controller, two games, and like the camera and the remote or something like that. I only noticed because when I was PS5 hunting, I came this close to being like, you know what? If I have to buy the bundle to get the PS5, I'll buy the bundle and sell the things I don't need. But the bundles were even selling out, so I was like, well, I ain't really mad. I really wasn't trying to spend $800 at once.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you could have made the money back if you were willing to let go of the PlayStation and just come back later.
you know, I wonder if people really are sitting on PS5s. I'm pretty sure, like, if you have 3 PS5s right now, you post right now today, I am selling them maybe for a $50 or $100 profit. Let's keep it reasonable, you know.
Oh yeah,
I'm
they'll sell it.
Yeah, I feel like by Friday you would have all 3 of those sold, no problem,
Yeah,
easy
yeah,
peasy.
yeah. I mean, and then you have the websites like StockX that are buying them and have them up. So I don't know if they're as a company just sitting on them or what, or if people just have them sitting in their house. So
I don't know if you. So there was a story on Twitter. So this guy was it wasn't on Twitter, but it happened on Twitter. I forgot who posted the story. But long story short, so this dude was like, "Oh, screw y'all! Look at all my PS5s." He had something of like 20, at least 20. Like he had a lot,
yeah,
a considerable amount for one person. It wasn't like 2 or 3. And he was like, "Man, you know, I'ma sell them because people go bomb." And then people are like, "Yo, chill out with that, bro. You ain't gotta like brag and be a douche about it." And he's all
yeah,
like, "Nah, man." So anyway, someone doxed him, found this address. These people were tech savvy and some thugs. Drove 45 minutes. I think it was somewhere like in Boston, somewhere on the East
yeah.
Coast. And they drove to his house, robbed this fool. uh,
Hey,
and
hey.
he posted about being robbed, and people were like, "So boohoo, so sad." And then he like deleted his Twitter or something out there. But my point is, if
Karma.
karma, and be humble if you're sitting on 20 PS5s, because
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
thugs are tech savvy nowadays. You know what I'm saying? Some
They
people
are.
will indeed pull up.
Definitely.
And the crazy part about it was I was just thinking, like, whoever he was arguing with, like this random person, I was like, what are the chances that this random person you was rude to on the internet was in your proximity and had the skills to both track you and rob you? Like,
Yeah. People got to be careful out there.
hey man, yeah. But anyway, the state of play,
Oh yeah, yeah, state of play. Let go of that.
So we saw some cool stuff. I think my favorite announcement. Well, let me back up. The most interesting announcement for me was Knockout City, because
Mhm.
during Nintendo's direct, they also showed Knockout City, and I was like, this game looks like it belongs on Switch, and it's probably not for me, but probably fun. And then I saw it on PlayStation. I was like, oh, is this about to be a cross? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So that was interesting. But my favorite game that I will not play, by the way, let me add, was the new Five Nights at Freddy game that had you walking around the big megaplex and stuff. Because it looks really cool. Security Breach, by the way. It looks
Yeah.
really cool. It's colorful. The story looks crazy. But I cannot play scary games. And I'm not about jump scares. But this game looks scary with and
Yeah.
without jump scares. So nah, man. I'm just gonna have to. Oh, nah.
Yeah. We'll see. I've never played a Five Nights at Freddy's games for that reason. Just because it's like specifically jump scares, but um, I think Final Fantasy is not my favorite. I need to jump back into it, but I'm happy that they're doing the upgrade. Well, actually, let me rewind that. Final Fantasy VII is one of my favorite games overall, but out of the direct, um, I think I'm pretty excited to try out Returnal. I haven't really played my PlayStation since I beat Miles Morales,
Mhm.
so just looking for something else to play that's kind of specifically for PlayStation. So either Returnal or that Kina game, The Bridge of Spirits. I think they both have launch dates, maybe.
I know I know Kina is confirmed for 2021. I'm not sure if it has a date, but I know it's barring any massive upsets. I believe
Yeah.
everything they showed in the direct is releasing this year.
Okay. Yeah. Returnal's April 30th.
Yeah, I believe that
So
was
I mean,
their big thing.
yeah, because it looks different, a different type of like it's like a third person, but kind of like a bullet hell game at the same time. So
Yeah, it's I'm not a fan of roguelikes. Even though, okay, this isn't probably technically pure definition roguelike, but it has the roguelike elements of you die, it's different, you come back. And like,
yeah,
I played Hades. I beat Hades twice. You have to keep beating the game for to get, and I'm just like, you know, Hades is supposedly like, you know, the best the genre's ever been, and I
Mhm.
still have a hard time playing that and enjoying it. So I'm just
Yeah.
like, man, this style just ain't for me.
I need to. I haven't played Hades. I've played some other kind of like roguelike games that were a little bit more that were a little bit smaller than Hades, but given the right game I can do it, but kind of the same. Like I get so paranoid depending on like if because some games you lose all your stuff,
Hmm.
so and I don't like losing my stuff. So I don't know, we'll see. I need to look into Returnal a little bit more. I'd be excited to see. I don't know. I mean, sometimes with the PS5 games, I'm a little hesitant just because they cost like $10. They're like $10 more than than all the other games. But we'll see.
Yeah. I guess just before we go on to my side tangent, but I guess my biggest thing, like you said, I don't like losing my stuff. But even though Hades does a good job of it, I don't
Mhm.
I don't like not having the ability to have like a favorite loadout. It's like one run, I got this loadout, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got this weapon with this additive, with this bonus, and, you know, I'm thugging it
Yeah.
out and doing my thing, and then I die, even though I got like a good loadout. I'm like, all right, cool, and I go back, even though if I pick the same weapon, I got like this different loadout, and I'm just like, man, I'm sucking. You know, I don't like the bonus. This has splash
Mhm.
damage when I need my dash to have splash damage, and this and that, and I'm just, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's cool. You know, you find different loadouts, and you're like, oh, cool experimentation. But me, I'm just like, no, I'd rather just find a loadout that just works for me, and then just go through the game with that loadout. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, enough people have talked about it where I at least need to try it.
Yeah.
So
That's what I did. You know me. I gotta. I will fully play a game before I'm not gonna be like I tried it for like 2 minutes. You know, I'm like, no. You know,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
gave it. I told myself I will beat this game one full run through. And
Mhm.
it was getting to the point where I thought I was never gonna be able to do it because I couldn't beat the last boss, and then I did it, and I was like, and I did it one more time. I was like, all right, that's enough of that.
Yeah.
But Kenya, the British Spears is getting a lot of love, and it's
Mhm.
weird because nowadays I want to call it an indie game, but some indie games are basically AAA games, but with an indie style to it.
Yeah.
But for sake of the argument, I'm gonna call it an indie game, and then like, it has that indie vibe. I'm like, this might be my first big indie quote unquote game of the year. Looks fun.
Yeah. I mean, out of all the games, it looked pretty. I think it's like the dopest looking one as far as like combat and art style. Um, I mean, Deathloop looked pretty dope too. I almost forgot about Deathloop, but no, I think Kena is definitely at the top of that list.
Oh yeah, no, Deathloop. The thing is, Deathloop. We've been, when you're hyped for a game for so long, it's hard to like keep that same level of hype when you see something new. Because we're in the final stretch of Deathloop. I feel like I can't get more hype for Deathloop until it's actually in my hands.
Yeah, yeah. I
And
mean, it looks pretty dope. I definitely want to play it. So either that or like Returnal, I think are the next games that I'll probably play.
yeah. And I was surprised at the Final Fantasy announcement. At first, I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 upgraded for PS5. That's to be expected. They're doing that with all
Yeah,
their big games. But then it was like, DLC, what? Which is kind
I
of weird to say about a game that's already segmented into parts to even think about it having DLC.
that is weird. And I was reading something from someone, and I need to just go ahead and finish the game, but they were saying that this Final Fantasy 7 game is a complete game where everyone thinks it's in pieces, but it's actually one full game, and then there's just going to be other stuff that happens, and like you said, in DLC and stuff.
Yeah, so it's because if you think about, okay, Final Fantasy 7 remake, whenever it's finished, will be literally something that's probably gonna look like something like Kingdom Hearts. Like there's Final
Mhm.
Fantasy 7 remake, vanilla. Then there's Intergrade, which is weird because you have to have the PS5 version to actually get the DLC.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
gonna
Yeah.
call it the Yuffie DLC. It's not called
Yeah.
that, but I'm gonna call it that anyway. To play the Yuffie DLC, you gotta have PS5. So, woo, got that covered. And then you're
Yeah.
gonna have Final Fantasy 7 remake, insert other name or remake 2. I don't know how they're gonna name it. And
Yeah,
then
no.
we're probably gonna have DLC for that. I mean, we could still have DLC for this for the vanilla remake anyway. And then we're gonna have. I'm assuming the game's gonna be in 3 parts. I don't know if that to be true, but in my heart, I feel that to be true.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much more they have to, like, so much more story they have to tell, and so many
Yeah.
more characters they have to introduce that it has to be something else.
Yeah, like so at least 3, maybe 4. Well, okay, if they're doing DLC, then they could probably get away with 3. And then those 3 games will have DLC. And then I'm like, are we gonna have like the Final 7 Remake Complete Edition, which is gonna be like, oh, what? I don't know, something crazy, 400-hour game or something with DLC main story.
Yeah, because you have the first part of the game. So maybe they'll introduce. So you have Final Fantasy 7 Remake, then you have Integrate or whatever you call it that introduces Yuffie. And then maybe it's going to be another piece, and it's like, okay, we have this other person like Vincent that they probably have to throw in there, and then they have the last piece or something.
Yeah, it's gonna be insane. I will say this: going into Final Fantasy 7 Remake, when they were like, this game takes place exclusively in Midgar, I was like, this is gonna feel like, half an experience. But no, they did it, and yeah, the game feels complete. I don't feel like I didn't play a complete game. I put north of 100 hours into it.
Yeah.
But it's just insane to think about that they're going this way with it. But I will say this: I'd rather have a game like this that's like, this is my fully realized vision that I couldn't do decades ago, than the ports we usually get.
Yeah.
Like, Crash Bandicoot 4. We need more of that, and the remakes that came before that, the Insane trilogy. But PlayStation's looking strong. No word of God of War. No word of Horizon Zero Dawn's was it Forbidden West. No new Ratchet and Clank info, but those games are all coming. Well, God of War, I'm not sure about, but the other 2 are definitely coming, so they'll be excited. I think we're gonna have a good, solid 2021 for PlayStation.
Definitely.
And assuming that nothing else new announced, I think they'll still be fine. I don't think they need to do anything else, but if they do, for the holiday season, more power to them.
Yeah. They have a good lineup here.
Most definitely. But now it's time to talk about Microsoft. So we don't have any new news yet about them. We only have rumors, but I mean, okay, so we know Halo's coming out this year, right? Knock on wood.
Yeah.
We know we're getting Halo. I'm not sure what else we're getting. We're getting Bethesda stuff.
Yeah.
I would say Microsoft is in a good spot in the sense that we know they got a lot of stuff to work with. We know. We just know. Like Psychonauts 2, I'm still waiting on that, by the way. But I don't know, Drew, you're the expert guy. What are you hoping to see out of this supposed conference thingy, whatever it is that we're getting later this month?
So I think they're gonna have to do a few things. So they still haven't talked a lot about how this acquisition is going to affect games on other consoles going forward, outside of ones that are already like Deathloop or things that are already kind of signed and they have contracts for. We know those are going to be on whatever consoles they're going to be on. But I think they have to come out and actually say if, like, what's that, Starfield or those games, if they're going to be kind of Xbox PC exclusive, or if they're going to go to PlayStation 5, or if they have a HD Switch, because they're definitely not running on a. Well, I don't know. It may run on the Switch. We'll see. But
I didn't think Apex could, but here we are.
That is true, and they got the Outer Worlds running on it. It looked a little muddy at first, but it's gotten better over time. But yeah, I think that's one of the main things they have to do is kind of maybe come out, start the show with that, and like, hey, this is our plan. These are the games that are for sure going to all consoles, and then as we develop these other games, then we'll release more information. And then I think they just need to talk about kind of the games that are in progress. So Starfield, Elder Scrolls 6. They're on 6, right? I think 6.
I think so. I don't know. It's Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Like I don't know what numbers they're on. They people just play. Yeah, Elder Scrolls 6. You're correct. I just looked it up.
Yeah. I think those are the two biggest ones that I can think of off the top of my head right now that they need to talk about. Just because overall, I mean, I think most companies overall, outside of PlayStation, they have a few big titles coming out this year, but everyone else so far only has like 1 or 2 titles. Everything is getting pushed. And that's another thing they probably should talk about if things are getting pushed. Just be transparent now, because people kind of understand.
No one wants another Cyberpunk. No. After that, no one wants to be Cyberpunk.
Definitely, and that's another game I kind of stopped playing. I'm kind of waiting for the bugs to kind of be fixed. But
I'm so sad because there's a really great game there. Like I played through the bugs, and I'm just like, honestly, if I ignore the bugs, this game could easily be like a 9.5, 10 out of 10. But that's again, like you're not supposed to ignore all the bad stuff, but I digress.
Yeah. But I mean, if I'm looking here, like if they do have this event, that's the main thing I can think of, unless I think they did say there may be some unannounced games in the works. So maybe talk about some new IPs. I'm sure there'll be some Game Pass, like, hey, all these games are coming to Game Pass type news if they have it.
Oh yeah, the thing is, I mean, they could bring Game Pass news, but I feel like Game Pass is such a great. Okay, Game Pass is great, and if you don't know it's great by now, like there's no amount of promotion anything can do to convince you it's great, because everyone sings its praises nonstop, rightfully so, rightfully so. So I really don't want any Game Pass news at all, because I'm just like, it's great, we know it's great. Unless you're about to tell me every game that Xbox has ever made or ever existed on the Xbox console is now on Game Pass, I really wouldn't care. And as great as that news would be, I kind of still wouldn't care, because it'd be like, oh crap, that's too many games. I'm just gonna go to sleep. It's like when you're trying to watch a show on Netflix, you're like, there's too many choices. I'm going to sleep.
Definitely.
But what I really want to do is, I need to know, unless you're Nintendo, because they can resell you the same game 50 times and people will buy it. You kind of need new games coming out every year. And like you said, COVID messed that up. But like you said, Sony's kind of got like, as of right now, they've already got their 2021 on lock.
Yeah.
And I don't think Xbox can survive off just the Call of Duty and Halo. So
yeah, I mean, they have
I really want them to be like, this is what's coming out this year. And it doesn't need to be a lot. Give me Halo and at least 2 more guaranteed solid games this year, and I think they'll be fine. If they can look us in the eye, because it's March, so I mean they will still have time. But as of right now, March, if they can say these 2 Xbox exclusive games are coming, and especially if it's a presentation mainly focused on Bethesda, boom, Elder Scrolls 6, Xbox exclusive, boom, new IP this year. I think that's all they would need to do, honestly.
Yeah, and they have a few things coming out this year. I just pulled this article up. It's a lot of indie stuff, I will say that. But a lot of it looks good, like The Ascent, which is like a top-down kind of shooter game, cyberpunk shooter game that's coming out. The Crossfire X campaign is supposed to be coming out, but I think that's going to be pushed. They have like Exo Mecha. Like I said, that one is an indie game. The Gunk looks pretty good. Halo Infinite, of course.
Psychonauts 2 can get an official release date. I think hey, since we already have that, look, give me Psychonauts 2, Elder Scrolls 6 exclusivity, game we ain't heard of yet. Boom. And then you can maybe just hit us with hit us back up in September or E3 time, because E3's dead, people. I'm sorry, it's dead. I'm extremely sad about it. I'm not saying that with any joy in my voice, but now when they come back for the summer showcase, Xbox Festival, whatever they're gonna call it, because they're gonna do something around the summertime. And if they hit us around sometime with like one new game that we had no idea about, I think Xbox would have a solid year. And the great thing is, I don't have a new Xbox, but I have Game Pass, that great service, so I'll just play whatever games I want on my PC.
That's how it is. That's how it works.
Yeah, I don't know what that does for their overhead, but as a consumer, I was just like, all right, Xbox, you got me, because my dollar subscription ran out actually last month in February, and I've been surviving off that dollar subscription what feels like since they announced Game Pass, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was during that E3 we were all down there. But I mean, I think that the dollar thing was used to kind of hook people in, and then once that happened, like okay, once that all runs out, it was like, well, there's so many games here that I still want to play. It's like I might as well pay if it's just on PC, I think it's just $10 a month to play all these games.
I think I'm definitely like $8.99. I don't know what it started auto charging me. It gave me a little warning email. I was like, no, yeah, keep on charging me. Like I'm not playing anything right now, but I will eventually at some point. So,
I mean, you make your money back if you play a couple games a year.
Yeah, I mean, what 2 games, $120? Yeah, you've already got your money's worth essentially.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. It's weird because, like I said, if you really want to think about it, Nintendo and Xbox are kind of in the same spot right now of what's coming. Because honestly speaking, okay, there's some new games coming to Nintendo Switch, like the new Pokemon Snap. We're getting that. We're getting some remakes and stuff, but there's nothing truly, as of right now, as of recording, there is nothing this year coming to Switch outside of new Pokemon Snap that is not something we've already experienced before. Like, I don't think we're getting a new Mario. I don't think we're getting a new Zelda. Metroid Prime 4 is probably dead, and they just don't want to tell us.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But again, it's Nintendo. Like where Microsoft is getting flack or will get flack if they don't bring something to the table, Nintendo's getting a pass. And I'm honestly at the point where like Nintendo no longer gets a pass. I'm gonna need you to do something. Like for real.
Yeah. No, and like I said, go ahead, sorry.
I don't know. I was gonna say, honestly, they don't have to make give me new hardware. Give me a 1080p Blu-ray Switch. And that'll get me by. I can live with that.
Maybe even like a little external. I was gonna say, I need something to. I mean, because there's a lot of great stuff that comes out on the Switch, but I do need another reason to pick it back up. I haven't played it since I first started playing Animal Crossing, and then I kind of fell off of that.
So one of the great things about the Switch, and also a bad thing, depending on how you look at it, is that since the Wii U was such a bad system, a lot of great games were missed, and they've just been releasing them on Switch. And I never played 3D World because it just didn't appeal to me, and I'm like, I'm not about to play with 3 people. So I did pick up 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and I'm playing through 3D World for the first time. That's been fun. I kind of want to just jump into Bowser's Fury because, that's technically the new game. But I was like, nah, let me experience 3D World for the first time, and then I'm going to play Bowser's Fury. And then I'm like, all right, but then the Pokemon games are going to keep me playing my Switch. But honestly, like, if I wasn't a Pokemon fan, I would have nothing to play on my Switch virtually all the time. Like,
yeah. And
I've realized that because people are like, oh, I haven't been playing my Switch. And I'm like, oh, I've been playing my Switch, but it's basically been like doing Pokemon stuff for, Pokemon reasons. And I'm like, is that really playing my Switch or just, keeping myself, competitive?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it's definitely hard. Like, I need to check it. It's just been sitting down there collecting dust. I definitely want to. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm excited though for the PlayStation stuff because similar to you, I haven't played my PlayStation after I beat Miles 2, and I keep playing it because I play Apex on PlayStation. I play that, But they did just add Control last month, so I've been playing Control for the first time.
Yeah, I need to
I'm not
grab
gonna
all that
lie.
stuff.
This isn't a Nintendo problem. Now I'm starting to see across the board as I talk about it. I've been using all these new systems to just play things I missed the first time around.
Yeah. I mean, and I think this is a very, I guess, unique way to it was a very unique console launch where there were a couple things, but then so many things got pushed back, and it's like, well, people still want to be able to play their games that they played on their last generation console. So it's like, well, now we have to make those better. So there you have resources going to that. Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, we're like I said, we're in an interesting time. We've gotten to a point where games look good. Like they're going to either look a little bit better or not as good. But I think we're at that point where I don't really actually know if I want them to look any better because it's going to be kind of weird. But I, but we're definitely at that point where it's like the lines between generations are blurred.
Yeah. Well, I guess Xbox and Microsoft and Sony both had the same idea. Was it's all about performance now. We need to
Yeah,
not worry about what they look like, but what can the console do?
yeah,
And honestly, we all know about the load times and the teraflops and the whatnot. But I'm interested going forward. What does that actually mean? Because right now, I'm gonna be that guy that's been real. It means nothing.
yeah,
All that means nothing to me. The game loads faster. Yes, I'm all for that. Yippee. But other than
yeah,
that, what does all that performance upgrade means? And I know, we won't know that until maybe a year, 2 years from right now. But that's what I want to know. What is that gonna mean for my games going forward? And then let's say we get used to games loading like that, like before we could even blink. Then what? What do we do from there?
yeah. I mean, it's a lot of incremental changes, a lot of background things. I think we're just going to be able to see less and less of what the hardware is actually doing for us. And it's going to end up being kind of like it's been on PC. It's like a whole bunch of frames that I don't have a monitor that can use it, but it's going at 100 frames per second. But it's going to be a lot of stuff like that. Like you said, outside of loading times, you're going to have your SPF boost, texture detail, and all that jazz. But then it just gets to a point where we can't see everything else that it's doing. That someone has to explain it to us. So we're like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think I've ever heard the word teraflop. At least, never heard it so consecutively until the new consoles were about to launch.
Oh yeah, I don't think I heard about it before, like the pro models. I don't think I heard the word ever before the pro models last generation came out.
But yeah, man. That's it. So that's where, as of right now, all three companies are sitting. I will say, Sony's in the clear lead because they've been the most transparent and have the most things officially coming out. And then, I'll say Microsoft and Nintendo are honestly tied for second. Like, I can't put one over the other because it's a whole bunch of unknowns. And the stuff we do from Nintendo really ain't that impressive. Even though I'm extremely excited for Pokemon stuff, but again, that's because I just love Pokemon. So you take that out the equation, Nintendo's left with nothing in my mind. But
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. Like if Sony stays on track with those dates that they announced for those games, they should have a decent year.
yeah, that shit. But, you know, that's it for this episode. And just, shout out to the Patreons once again, Ryan Frazier, Gabriel Garcia, and Bake Rice, because I didn't do that last week. I just want to show y'all some love. And, if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, please do. Like, share, subscribe for free 99 though. I always do that. But Julian, I want to thank you once again for joining me this week. And if people like the smooth sounds of your hammer tones, where can they find you at it on the interwebs?
Yeah, oh yeah. So Twitter it's Julian_DDP. And then I'm starting to stream more. So if you want to follow me there, it's KingJulian_DDP. Those are my main places.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you again for joining us this week. We're back on track with, our kind of topical gamely topics, kind of not. Just, we have fun here on Full Circle. And, thank you to all the new followers on my personal account and on the social media for the show, Full Circle and Full Circle Productions. Y'all have been great, having a lot of interactions. I see y'all. I'll talk back to y'all. I appreciate that. Like, we've had a great start to the year, and I'm glad y'all been enjoying it. And we go move forward together. Got some more exciting guests for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Some big, some small, and everything in between. But as always, everyone, have a great week and be blessed.